It's the 11th of June in the Onion Garden, Chicago, here at the Ringve Botanical Garden. It's a beautiful day. The weather's finally changing from the cold weather we've been having, and tomorrow will be only the second day this spring over 20 centigrade, but the onions love this cold weather. At the moment there are many chives, Allium which are in full flower, but I thought today we'll look at some of the Allium victorialis, Ulleunggense in Norwegian, accessions we have here at Ringve. And the first one is this one in full flower. It's one of the accessions from the Alps, so it's still known as Allium victorialis. Victorialis was split into 5 different species a few years ago. This one's got quite shiny leaves and lovely flowers which are popular with the pollinators. That one, the second one from the Alps, is over here. It's a bit different. There's a honeybee hovering around it. Not so shiny leaves on this one. And if we move further down the garden, we'll see another one which is flowering. A lovely tall scape on this one. Not very shiny leaves. This is one of the onions that have naturalised in the Lofoten Islands, actually on the island of Røst, which is a small island outermost in the Lofoten Islands. If you want to read more about it, you can read this sign about the origin of the this species in the Lofoten Islands, which isn't a native, possibly introduced by the Vikings. They're delicious, can be used exactly in the same way as Ramslurk, and tend to grow better in the north than in the south. This is another accession from the Lofoten Islands, from the island of Hyeok-Jae, growing really nicely here. If we move along through the garden here, we have another one which is actually been growing here at Ringve for the longest period, in the so-called park on the south side of the garden. There's a huge area of this growing in very shady conditions, not these open conditions that the onion garden has here, but it grows really nicely. This is one of the things with Victory onion. It grows both in very shady conditions and also in open conditions, and particularly the ones from the Alps, which we think the Norwegian accessions originate from originally. They grow both in the alpine woodlands there, but also over the limit of the forest in the alpine meadows. Then moving over to some of the more eastern accessions, Asiatic. This one here with these lovely bright glossy leaves, just about will be out in flower properly in a week or so. Is possibly the species Allium ulleungense from the small island of Ulleungdo, an endemic to that island which lies between Korea and Japan. And apparently this species is the one that is most cultivated in Japan. Victorian is effectively is supermarket food in the Far East, and this particular accession came from the mainland Japan, but and was being cultivated in a home garden, so it could very well be this endemic species that we have here, although I can't be sure. If we move it over here, we can have a little look at the earliest of all the victorialis accessions. This is from the island, from the Kola peninsula in the Russian Arctic, in northwestern Russia, and this one is by far the earliest of any of the accessions in the garden. In fact, it already has fruits and seeds forming. It doesn't look quite so big. It could be that could just be that it's more crowded out than by the plants neighbouring it. Must give it a bit more space. And we have this other one here, which has these more pinkish flower heads, which is typical of the species ochotense, which is the main one in the Far East. And this particular one came from a nursery in Japan called Yuzawa Engai. It was imported to Europe some time ago. Not very glossy leaves, you can see, very bluey green leaves, and quite broad-leaved. Broad-leaved Victorian was what it was known as in the past, at least the Asian varieties. Otherwise, what else can I show you? We've got a few accessions over here on this other bed. This one here is also ochotense, which I got many years ago from Japan, and has these again these beautiful, very different from the European accessions, pinkish reddish flower heads, which are also smaller than the European accessions, and as again quite broad leaves. And there's also, let's see, one last one here which has been split, another one from western Russia, is now known as Allium microdictyon, which is rather dainty. It could be that it's not fully grown yet, they take a few years to establish properly, but this one has rather small inflorescences, rather narrow leaves, like petite little plant. Okay, well that's, I think, a good selection of the Allium victorialis complex that we have here at Ringve.